Now then, there are plenty of lakes around the country that used to be match lakes, stocked with itty bitty little carp that were put in there for the match anglers, that, you know what, they eat, and when they eat they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they turn into carp fisheries. Now these lakes are absolutely brilliant, but the big question is, are they a carp lake or are they a match fishery? You can do both styles on them. The big question for me is which one is best, and the answer is obviously very, very simple. It's carp fishing. Why on earth would you want to match fish for carp? Decent sized doubles like that. Just get the carp rods out. That is what we need to do. I'd like to put that to the test though, and I've got a bloke joining me today that I have been out with before. He knows a thing or two about match fishing, and he reckons he can prove me wrong. Who is it? Well, I rang around, loads of people couldn't make it, so I got this bloke instead. Here he is. It's none other than... Boom! Oh, Rob, God. Just go.
What is he on about specimen fishing? It's all about match fishing for me. I'll be putting fish on the bank regularly for you, not like waiting 12 days for a bite and this, that and the other. It's all about little casts and putting loads of bait in and just making sure you're getting bites. I don't know what you're on about. I really don't know what you're on about.
Tell you what I'm on about. We're on about looking at the differences between two very, very effective methods. What's the most productive?
Match.
Also, which can produce the biggest fish? That's carp fishing. 100%.
We're going to smash him to bits, folks.
Not in a million years. Whilst Andy was still playing about getting his oil rig sorted, I was quick to get off the mark, but it wasn't the intended species. It wasn't long before Andy's tip was getting pulled. This one was pulling back right from the off.
So, first fish of the session. I've had one fall off though, and I've missed another bite, but of course I don't miss proper bites, so it must have been a liner. Just constantly chucking on that same spot. As I said, this is where the accuracy comes into it from my point of view. I want to be as accurate as possible, not chucking it over like 3 football pitches, like what Rob does, you know what I mean? I want to be getting in a little, well, a tiny little area. Ideally, the more accurate it can be, the happier I'll be that I'm going to get a bite. It's just a constant build up of that bait. Feels like quite a good fish. I suppose at that distance though, you know, I'm chucking it like 516 yards, folks, you know what I mean? So I'm doing it a proper whack. You don't quite know how big the fish is going to be. She's there. Oh yeah, look at that for a match fish straight in the net, Rob. Not like, you know what I mean? I don't need 3 other people to net my fish for me. I'm all in one, mate. Even with a bad arm. Have I mentioned me bad arm? I've not mentioned me bad arm yet, have I? You like that? Oh, got to get him in first, though. There we go then, folks, first one of the session. So I've been baiting the swim for probably 20 minutes, half an hour, and it's flown round and we've got that beauty. I'd hold him up, but it's proper lively, I think. Oh, yeah, Rob's in, so that's his first take as well. Literally been fishing half an hour and it's kicked off big style. Let's get this beauty back. Beesh.
Whilst Andy let the cracker of a common go, I was off the mark with a nice scaly one too. Literally took it as soon as it hit the deck.
There you go, mate.
Pop the bobbin on, bang, straight away, and that was just flicking a few boilies over the top of it, just drawing them in with the noise. And check out that absolute beauty. Tank. Woohoo!
Yeah, that's chances on mine, that, Rob.
Match fishery fishes.
Lovely.
I absolutely love this short session hit and run style fishing. Travelling really, really light. Don't bring bivvy, don't bring bed chair. Bait bag, barrow, small chair if you really need it. And it's just a very, very fast way of doing things. And on venues like this, it is such good fun. You know, carp in places like this now, they're pretty big. You can go out, you can catch 10, 12 doubles in a day. A lot of the fish in here, you know, there's a fair few 16, 17, 18 pounders. There's loads of fish between 8 and 14. They run up to 30 pound as well. And there's loads of venues like this all over the country. This is Barston, Birmingham based, absolutely fantastic venue, loads and loads of space. It's very well known on both the carp circuit and the match circuit as well. The key today really is just to have a look at how to get bites, how to maximise this style of fishing. It's great to come to places like this if you're short of time, coming down for the evening, afternoon, day session, whatever. You don't need to bivvy up, you just need to be active and catch a few fish. So I've got 2 rods, I'm fishing very similar tactics on both of them. Really simple, straightforward lead clip setups, barbless hooks. Remember, a lot of match fisheries impose a barbless hook rule. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to get one spot baited up with bait going regularly in there that will build over the course of the day. And the other one, I'm just leathering that round all over the place. That's the opportunist rod. The key thing is look at the colour of the water. If the colour of the water is muddy, then you want a really, really smelly bait. And also, and this is a key tip as well, fish here feed by sound. You might not think it, but they really do feed by sound. Match anglers fire pellets in, they come into that noise. Carp anglers fire boilies in, they come to that noise. So normally when you're going to get a bite, you'll get one really quickly. Hence the reason that 20 minutes, that's about the most you want your rod in the water before a recast.
So I've got some sauce pellets. Sauce pellets? Oh, yes, we're in. Go on then, fishes. Yep. What we saying, Rob? I might be swimming your way as well, mate.
My way.
I'll try and steer it back my way. Literally, I've just said I'll have another cast because I had a bit of an inquiry before. But it was a skimmer. This is not happy. I might have to unclip, Willie. Where's my clip? I might have to unclip. He's not happy. Come on. He's going. I do apologise, folks. I don't normally stand up playing fish, but just thought I'd see what Rob's doing. Here he is. What have we got? Is that your bait? There's no catfish in here, mate.
Not what you like.
That what? Oh, look at that beautiful little skimmer. Need a bucket wash, don't you? Wash your hands now. Oh, this feels a bit bigger, this one, folks. It might be an F1 though. You know what I mean? Does feel a bit bigger. Yeah, get in. We on it. Ornamental, Rob. Instant win. Instant win, folks. Of course it counts. Look at that beauty. That's it, we won. Pack up, let's go pub. Come on, let's go bar. We've won. Right. I think this one's been a little bit more sensible, so I'm going to hold him up for you. What he's saying is about, I'd say he's £8. I won't get him all the way out, but look at that beauty. Yeah, oh, Rob's off again. It's all going off. Let's get this beauty back and let's go and see what Rob's got.
Oh, it's another corky mirror.
Follow.
Cheeky thing, you. You cheeky thing.
You swing that in on your gear, that mate. Oh, he's a nice one.
He is.
Yeah.
And he's in the net.
Fair play.
Right then, here is fish number 2 for me, and it's an absolutely cracking fish, just into double figures. I'm going to give myself £10 an ounces for that. And these fish at Barston really do scrap hard, so just be a bit careful when they're on the mat. Be a bit a bit aware of where you are, you know, the stone paths around, so just keeping him nice. But what a brilliant fish. And there's a pattern emerging now, because this is the second one I've had and it came straight after a recast. So already I think these fish are going to be going on sound. So when they hear that rig land, they're on it like a shot. The first one, I'd only just put the bobbin on when it absolutely tore off. This one, oops, it couldn't have been in the water more than a minute before this one went as well. So yeah, happy days. And it looks like the plan is coming together. Oh, and he got me again.
Okay, so bait choices, it really couldn't be simpler. There's nothing to complicate yourself with on this. So, bomb and pellet line first. So, I'm going to be feeding 8mm Screttings pellets. They go straight into a tub, but it's what you do with them, which is a little tip. Don't be telling Rob, shh. So, basically, pellets straight out of the bag are all good and well. You're going to catch fish with them, but what I like to do is give myself a little bit of an edge and put a pellet soak on them. Again, everyone's got their own personal preference. It's one of them for me. If I didn't put this on, or F1 Sweet is my other favourite, it just doesn't give me confidence. No, I truly believe it makes a difference. So you don't need loads on. There's what, probably 2 pints of pellets in there. I'm just going to put the equivalent of 10 or 12 capfuls or something like that. Give them a good mix up, make sure they're all coated, and they'll be perfect. You know, you can band them straight onto the band, feed them as well. But the other thing as well that I like to do is band some of these. I love these 8mm sauce pellets. You know, again, if something you think gives you confidence, it gives you an edge, use it, because in fishing it's massive. Massive, aye? So that's the bomb and pellet line. Right, you lovely lot. So I've had, what have we had? Probably 90 minutes out long for only 2 fish. But I noticed the odd swirl coming up on my loose fed 8mm line, on the sort of bomb stroke hybrid method line. So I've had a cast over it, and I've had a liner straight away, and then it's gone round. But it was a one, it was an F1, you lovely lot. We don't want F1s, but it's just screamed off now. And this is definitely not an F1. If it's an F1, it's a world record F1. So nice, it's like right awkward to play him now because it's a bit overgrown, but we're managing, aren't we? He's not happy, this one. He's gone to visit Rob a few times. You know as well, folks, I'm proper old school. I like to back wind. I'll have my drag set right, but I do like to back wind. The other thing that I want to do as well is feed whilst I'm playing the fish. Now, the reason I want to do that is because I don't want the likes of him nicking me fish or anything. Even though he's chucking like 316 yards further than me, I still want to keep fishing my peg, so that when I go in again, I can be straight into the fish. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. I'll tell you what. I won't need gold game next week, folks. Fish is working me out anyway. Won't need game, mate. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It's weird not having to use a puller kit. It's right nice, though, catching him up. Oh, here he is. Heads up, he's in. I'll tell you what, it's a bit bigger than I thought, actually. It's not far off that ornamental instant win that we caught out long. I bet he's £7, something like that. He's a right little chunk. Might be bigger than that. He might be bigger than that. He's a proper little chunk, him. Look at him, look at that. That's beautiful. That's heavier than I think, actually. That's another £8. Lovely. Let's get him back. Beautiful. What's the scores, Rob? What are we saying? What's the scores, mate?
Now, one of the key things that I found over my time both fishing and watching lakes like this, particularly Barston, is that they respond really well to sound and smell. So I'm going to make up some sticks now. The idea is that I'm going to be casting out these little mesh bags of bait very, very regularly, probably every 15-20 minutes. I'm going to have a recast of one of these. So I made a little portion up first just to get started, just to make sure they were happy with it. They were. I've had a couple of fish already. So I'm going to make another bit up now. And the first thing that goes in is spod and bag mix. Now, when you get your spod and bag mix, the first thing you've got to do is just give it a good shake and mix it up. Sometimes it can settle on the shelf, so you want it to mix up nicely. So I'm just going to put a bit in at a time. Now in the winter, I might add bread to this as well. And what I'll do is I'll make it up the night before, but just a little portion there. You can see there's pellets in it, there's powder in it, there's crushed down bait as well. So that is my starter. The next thing I like to use is 3mm amino pellets. So I'll put a couple of scoops of them in as well. There's no rhyme or reason to how much. It's not an exact science. I just want a reasonable amount of bait in there. So I'll give that a little mix now as well. Just pop the lid back on. And every stage, I'll give it a shake and a mix. So that's gone in there nicely. You can see that's a very, very dry mix in there. Very dry indeed. Boilies next, and boilies are an integral part of this because I want to get them getting the taste of these boilies. This is crave, and I'm going to put a handful of these into a crusher and literally squeeze it in, and you're not crushing it to dust, just what I class as a there and back. So it's like there, back, not going full round all the time, just in and out, and then what you end up with is bits that are nice and chunky as well as a little bit of powder as well. So I'll just do that again, 2 lots, not filling it too much. In it goes, squash it down, there, back. That's it. Lovely. This is where it gets really interesting. Worm liquid. Fish everywhere. Every single fish that swims actually loves a worm. So put a reasonable dose of that in. It absolutely honks, that stuff. Reasonable dose of that in. And then on with the lid and another shake. And what I want to do is I want to get that powder and those crushed boilies soaking up all of that worm liquid. Now, you can use krill, you can use heavy fish meal, you can use any liquid you want, but here in particular, I know that they like a really smelly bait, so get that in there. It's going to be really, really shoddy and clumpy in a minute. And that, there we go, look at that, that is already looking nice. To this I'll add a heavier liquid. That, when it comes out, is water soluble, so it's going to come out, it's going to mix in the water. I want a heavy one now, and this is shrimp and prawn. Once again, very smelly, and you can see that's like treacle when it comes out there. That will stay on the deck, and that will be really, really smelly down on the bottom. So we've got the liquids working for us in 2 different ways now. One, it's baiting the area on the deck, and the other one is coming up in the water. And I can feel that starting to stodge up. Lovely. Look at that. So you can see now it's just starting to gloop up, almost stick to itself. And then the last one is a fish oil, and I like a krill oil. You can see how much I like a krill oil because I've got hardly any left. And this is the last bit that goes in. I'm not putting that much in there, just a little bit on top. And what happens with that liquid is it goes all the way to the surface. So remember, 3 different liquids, one staying on the deck, that's tainting the bait, and it's also making the whole lake bed smell really nice. Another one is water soluble, that's sending the food smell out, and the final one is coming up to the surface, and that is going to grab the fish down. So I'm just going to go into the corners now. You can stick your hands if you want, but I prefer to use my stick. And then I'm just going to leave that a little bit more of a shake, but then just leave it settle, and those big bits of boilie will start picking up that, all of that liquid. They'll suck it in, and that 100% will call fishing. I'll let it dry off, make it into sticks, and that's what I'm going to be casting out with a bit of glug on it. And that was an absolute belter. You've got to love it when they just one tone from nothing. You know, we're sat there, not a lot happening. Whee! Off it goes. Mr. May looks around. What's
In
going
disgust.
on? What's that beep? That beep?
Thought it was your alarm waking you up.
Come on, the long net. Oh, it's a long comment. And he's on the pink. Come on then. Come to Hughesy. And he's in. Oosh.
Eesh.
Oosh, as some people say, a belter out of the blue.
After slipping that nice common back, the action was thick and fast for the pair of us.
Get in. Wasn't expecting a scoop, was he?
Salmon scooping.
Oh, aye, he's a nice one.
Now then, we know that sound attracts fish here, and it does on an awful lot of commercials. So one of the things that I like to do is just get the throwing stick out and just ping boilies over the top. Oh, go on, bit of an indication there. I'm fishing semi-slack, I'll come to that in a minute, but what I like to do is just ping individual single boilies over the top, because the fish get used to them landing, hear the noise, and will come in on it. In addition to that, what you might see in a minute is the gulls come in. They've been and visited already today, but the gulls come in and they start nicking the bait as well. Now, a lot of people don't like gulls because they take the boilies, but that is actually an absolute benefit here, because when the gulls are going down hitting the water, the carp can hear it and they end up competing with the birds for that bait. And if hardly any bait's getting down, you know what? Your bait underneath, boilies hitting the surface but being picked up by gulls, that can be absolutely brilliant. Also, the other thing I've done here is my bait has been in the sun in a bag. I've let it sweat out a little bit, and there's a little tip that will help you get it out the stick. So I've just put a bit of water in there and I'm soaking it off. I'm not soaking it so much that it's actually soaking the baits to make them soggy. It's literally just adding a little bit of weight to them. And it means that rather than wetting the stick and still splitting the baits, if you wet the boilies for a while, you can get them out really well and nice and easy. So they're just going out perfect now to that distance. It's my fault they got all sweaty anyway. I left them in a bag in the sun, which is not the best thing to do. Should really open the bag and let them breathe a little bit. But a little bit of water on the top of them, leave them soak for a couple of minutes, and suddenly, game on again. You can get them exactly where you want them.
Okay, you lovely lot. So, what we've been up to then? So we started off long on a method, well, hybrid really, and it's pretty much what I would have done in a match. You know, I'm fishing it sort of 60 odd yards, something like that. I've had a couple of early fish on that, just moulding micros on the little hybrid with a washer on, and then I've been constantly pinging bait out at sort of 25 to 30 yards. Again, which is something I'd always do to keep two separate swims on the go, because as a match angler I want to be putting fish in my net. Now I've dropped on the bomb line after probably an hour, and I've had a couple of carp and an F1 hit pretty much straight away. What I'm doing, I'm pinging sort of like what we're saying, 8 to 12 pellets out, 8 to 12 8 mils or something like that, chucking the bomb right over it. Now it's getting to that time of day now, it's really hot. I mean, I'm snarled up in amber soleil, let me tell you. Now, what I've been noticing as I've been pinging them pellets out, I've been having swirls and oh, he's on! Oh, he's on! Could that work out any better, folks? So, I mean, you saw how savage that bite was. That's why I am most definitely not clipped up. Get ready, Rob. You know what I mean? I think this one puts me in front of you. I'm going to concentrate a bit here, see if the same thing happens again. I hope it's not an F1 after all this. My arm's aching. This is amazing. So angry, right, it's coming in now. It's coming in now. It's going to be a small fish, isn't he? Oh, he's going out again, he's going out again, he's going out again, he's going out again. Look at him, oh. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, and Rob's got another one toner as well. Look at that double hook up, Rob. Don't get in on this fish, get in on my fish. He's missed his. You know what I mean? He's missed his. We haven't missed ours here. Look at that beauty. That's another, what we're saying, £7, maybe £8. Let's get a closer look at him. And then we can go through the setup. Let's get a quick look now. Look at that beautiful mirror. Lovely, £7. Right, let me talk you lovely lot through exactly what we're using to catch it. Okay folks, so bomb and pellet fishing, it's a lovely way of fishing this time of year. You get a lot of fish in your peg. So what do you need for it? Well, 10-foot bomb rods are absolutely perfect. Now, I've said bomb rod, obviously bomb rods you'd associate with, you know, winter fishing or something like that for skimmers or F1s. I've got a stepped up sort of feeder rod, so it is pretty powerful. As I said, 10 foot, real size wants to be between the 3,000 and the 4,000. You're not looking to cast it to the horizon. 20 to 40 yards at the absolute maximum. Usually it's sort of like around 30 yards or something. Main line wants to be like £6 or £8, so we're talking like 0.20, 0.22 diameter. Now the tips I'll use a real light tip, you know, like what we're saying, half an ounce, 3/4 of an ounce or something. So when I start getting fish in the peg, I don't want to spook them whatsoever. So a nice slack line, cheeky, so when you start getting liners, you're not seeing the bow waves off or anything. Now, coming down to the business end, nice and simple. I've got a snap link swivel on first, which is free running, and then that's attached to a square lead. You know, it's my personal preference in using the square ones rather than the old traditional Owsley bombs. I think they hold a lot better. That's coming to a float stop, just to protect the knot. And then what we're saying there, 4 or 5 inches of twizzled line. It acts like a boom to help kick your hook length away so you don't get tangles. I never get any tangles anyway though. And then we're coming down to the quick change attachment, which is basically on a swivel to reduce hook spin ups. And then if I move that rubber grommet up, I can change the hook length instantly. Now that's important to check. Say if you're on real silty bottoms, streaky, sounds a bit wrong that, doesn't it? But if you're on a silty bottom, basically your lead's going in too far and it might be taking your hook length in. So I've found, over years of fishing, I've found that sort of like a 12, 14 inch hook length coupled with that 4 or 5 inch of twizzled line is about right. The bites are proper savage on it. Now, hook length wise itself, minimum of 0.20, don't make a blind bit of difference. When your line's on the bottom, honestly, it's irrelevant. So when you get a fish on, you want to get it out. So 0.20 hook length. Hooks, very personal to the angler, but my personal choice is a Guru QM1, either a size 10, 12 or 14. Just match what bait you're putting in. If it was like angry F1s, maybe odd carp, I'd probably go on to like a 14s and a 6mm pellet. We're on big carps here and big F1s as well, so it's a size 12 and I'm banding an 8mm pellet. Which leads me on to the baits for banding. My personal favourites are these little 8mm, well they're little for us match anglers, but not for you carpers using 50mm things, like conkers, isn't it? I like to use these, personal choice, whether they make a difference or not, I don't know, but I've caught loads of fish with them. They're 8mm source. Are we on?
Yeah, left-hander. Go with it. Go on. Left-hander on the drop back, hit it and reel in, hit it and reel in. That's it, go. Anything?
Yeah boy!
Whoa!
What?
Here
What
goes.
doing with the dragon anything?
That's it, you're all right, you're on.
Oh,
You're fine.
Proper carp. Are you getting me? I'm looking over. Is that position right?
You can stick it wherever you want,
What about that?
within reason, of course. Flex the guns. Hang on, you need. Oh, hang on, social distancing.
I tell you what, catfish. You don't backwind you out, do you?
No, you can do now if you want. Stick it on the back one if you want.
An F1.
I don't know, it's an F1, is it? Oh, hello.
Double.
Hey,
What's going on
hey, hey, we got double bubble. Right, hang on then.
Come on, mate, I'll get this.
Yeah. There we are. Oh, here, I'll have that one. You chuck that one out as well.
Cheers, Rob.
Reel in forwards. Reel in, because it's still on bait runner. Go on.
It's all going off now.
It's fallen off. This is what happens when you get a peg rocking.
That was nuts, that.
Don't lose that
Steady all day,
one.
wasn't
Hey?
it? Steady all day.
Been absolutely mad. Now that's a £3 test curve rod, remember?
How much?
3. Have you used the 3 before?
Use the 3 ounce one. You be casting through
Right.
my peg now.
Right,
you?
I'm just getting that one back in there for a minute.
Sorry.
And then just one down the edge.
Oh mate, I'm going to do proper carping walk back with this one, Rob.
Are you?
Yeah, man.
Mr. Carpy, right, I'll come in on that side. Unless you want to try and net it again and knock it off on the way in.
I didn't, it just fell off. Look at it, it's feeding me, mate. Look at me being proper carpy walking back.
Good. Where are you going? You're going to
Oh,
you're going to Coventry, are you?
That's a big one now. I'm going in the river. That's a nice one. Oh,
Oh, it is as well.
beast.
Come on.
I'm glad we
That's
didn't
a
get
common-
that
that's
on
a big
me,
common, that.
bomb rod.
That's a good comment.
Beast in the wheel. Get the size of that.
Mate!
Get in there.
Boom!
That is a beast,
Now-
mate. What about that then, folks? That is an absolute beauty. It's probably the biggest one I've ever had from Barston. I'm saying, it's a chunk. I'm not even holding it out. It's a good 15 to 16 pounds that. And I suppose, I hate to admit it, but it goes to prove that the special tactics, or Rob's tactics today, they do select the bigger fish. I've not had anything like this big today. Probably my biggest has been just touching 10. But as I said, that's a lot bigger. Oh, might be adopting your tactics, Rob. Right, Rob, I've seen what all the fuss is about, and I can hear an alarm going off now. But
Still chances over there, mate. It's happening.
I think there's every chance, especially who took it in my peg. He's not really, folks. Come and catch some proper fish. Come and catch some match fish. Hectic, mate, hectic.
Right, go on then.
Come on, you'll love it
So,
on this like gear.
I have sat on one of these before.
Get sat down, I'll bait it up for you and everything. Let me come on this.
Now you've hand sanitised this, as I did
have,
before, just in case
absolutely.
anybody's watching at home.
Lovely lot, it's there,
All-
sanitised to the max.
all
Right,
sanitised.
Before we do that, so just plop that in the water first, Rob. That's it, get your catapult ready. Now I want you to aim, you see the tree over there where that bike's just come up over there, in that
Yeah.
dark shade.
Yeah.
I want to give you maximum beanage on that catapult, your rod's going.
Maximum beanage.
Maximum
Is it?
beanage on your catapult, right in line with that tree. A few more pellets. You see
That
what
tree?
happens when you only put in a few pellets in, like
Yeah.
with a waggler, they go spread out too much. You want to put 8 to 10 in.
Right,
How
okay.
many's in that?
15.
Oh, it's full. That's it, right, quick as you can now. Bomb right over the top of it.
So we're basically,
It's,
we're zigging in reverse, aren't we?
That's it, mate.
Basically. So,
And then feather it down. So watch it and stop it. Perfect.
down it goes.
Perfect. And now
Landed on the
tight
deck.
Down to, you know where you kept
Yeah.
that line high? Ours is straight under the water.
Right, okay.
Straight under the water, sink it nice and quick. Sink, watch the 2 V's, watch the 2 V's, and then put it in your rest. You've got
Right.
a little attachment thing there, Rob.
Okie dokie.
That's it, eye this side and slacken off that clutch, mate.
Oh, hello. Yeah, go on. This is it. This is the one. This is
Mate,
this is the one.
get in, I've just recasted yours.
Good angling.
Expert, what do you call it? Not a tea bag, is it? What do you call it? PVA bag.
Mesh bag.
Mesh bag. So, I don't play them like that because you're going right through your rods.
Yeah.
Have it down low, mate, have it down low.
Right, okay.
That's it.
Yeah, but it's
The lower
good.
you keep it, the less it fry. Just sort of like
Yeah, I can hear that. Look, the clutch
Unless
is.
the great big ones.
This is a donkey.
You're
I
on
don't.
max
I
gear.
don't. Mate, I don't fish for small ones, mate.
You're not on like £100 braid, you're on max gear.
Oh, come on. It's quite nice on these rods. You can feel it all the way to the handle.
Yeah, it just cushions everything. That's a
It's-
massive cut.
It's nicer than the pellet waggler rod actually, and that's really nice too. Right, get your frying pan out.
Are you ready? You ready
Yeah.
for butterfly net?
We're not far off. We're right down here now. How big is it? Don't be knocking it off. Oh, it is a big. Oh, it's not bad in that.
Oh, so I've had biggest on yours here, and you've had biggest on mine. Get in, Rob, come
That
on.
is an absolute
Yes.
tank. I thought that felt a big fish. Is that my biggest fish of the day?
That is a unit.
That is my biggest fish of the day on his kit, and he's had his biggest fish of the day on my kit. What can you say, folks? That is absolutely mega.
Let's get it on mat. Come on, let's get it
Right, come on, is it going to break your landing out on the way out?
No.
We'll just have a last little look on that, and I think this is beginner's luck
Not
on
a
the
chance,
bomb and pellet, mate.
Expertly placed.
Look at
with the
that.
bomb, right over the pellet.
Absolute donkey. Been brilliant fun as ever, mate. Lovely, lovely to share the bank with you. Lovely to be on the bank with you.
Yeah, you too.
And yeah, happy days indeed. Check out that for a donkey. Woohoo!